Alright, so we're here with another tier list. This one won't be as long as my last one. But we're going to be doing Red Dead Redemption 2 characters tier list. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of my favorite video games of all time, and it has some pretty great characters. I was going to try and find one that had the first game also, but I played it so long ago, I don't remember half of the characters. So, because I played this, I've been replaying this one recently, the characters are fresh in my mind a little bit more, and I can make a more accurate list. To start, let's get this out of the way. Micah is the worst, but in a good way almost. Like, he's just so bad and so hated, but he's really great as like the antagonist, or one of the antagonists of the game. It's because you hate him for so long, you want to kill him for so long, and then you find out he's the traitor the whole time. Spoiler alert. And man, it just felt so good killing him at the end of the game. I'm pretty sure I threw his body off a cliff after I shot him 50 times in the head and the ball sack, so good times. But yeah, easy Micah tier, just one of the worst people ever. But not a bad character by any means, that's what I meant to say earlier. Hosea, A tier. Hosea is cool, he's interesting, he has a lot of history, a lot of backstory in the game. He's pretty great. Like, I liked Hosea. John Marston is an S tier. He plays him in the first game and the end of the second game. He's a really interesting character. I enjoyed seeing more backstory about him, learning more about him. Just a great character. Javier's a B tier. He didn't get as much fleshing out as I thought he was going to be. Like, when I first played the game, he was in the second mission, like he was helping you, doing all this stuff, and then ever since then he kind of just drifted off. A lot of people really like him because he views the gang as his family. We're all his brothers or whatnot, but he doesn't get a lot of time, which makes sense because he was in the first game. But even in the first game, he didn't really get a lot of the attention. So yeah. I believe this is Trelawney. He wasn't really interesting to me. He only shows up throughout the game. Just not that great. Sadie Adler is an S tier. She's a really interesting character. She has a great arc throughout it. One of the only gang members that doesn't betray Arthur at the end of the game. But just a great character. Hoping that whenever we get Red Dead Redemption 3 that she's kind of has a presence in it, if not being the playable character, or like I'm hoping one of the playable characters. I'd like to see like multiple characters playable, like GTA 5 kind of. But yeah, Reverend Swanson, can't talk today. He's alright too. You just don't get a lot from him. I don't know, he's just one of those gang members that's just kind of in the background the whole time. And I'm noticing we're missing a few too. I'll just have him. Every gang member that isn't on this list, I'll just have be Reverend Swanson, like Mary Kate, Miss Grimshaw, the blonde chick. They're all fine. They're serviceable. You just don't get a lot about them. Bill Williamson. I don't like Bill Williamson, but he still has more development than these people down here, and he's still not a bad character. He's interesting. He gets a little more, like, it's interesting. He's in both games, I think, about the same. He's one of the first people you go up against in the first game, and you don't really get a whole lot about him, but he's present throughout it. And then the second game, I don't remember him doing very much too often. The one notable thing I remember him doing is the end of the second game when Micah is like attacking Arthur, I guess. He tells him to shut up. that's all I can bring him. Pearson. He's alright. I like antagonizing him. It's cool you can see him at the end of the game and he owns the shop. But, yeah. Jack. Jack's fine. Just, out of all of the 3 protagonists throughout the series, he's probably the least interesting and he gets the least amount of time. In the first game, he only shows up in like the last, I don't know, 1/6 of the game. So he doesn't really have that much of a influence in the game. And in the second game, he's like 4 years old the entire time until a little bit at the end. So he's just not the most fleshed out character. I would like to see him maybe as a playable character along with Sadie Adler in an eventual 3rd game. But I don't know. Strauss is the worst. He's essentially the reason Arthur Morgan is not with us. Lenny. I liked Lenny. Died too soon if you ask me. He's an interesting character. That's about it. Dutch would be an S tier. Not because I like Dutch, but because he has a really, really interesting character arc and really, really interesting, like, I don't know, story. You learn a lot about him. If we were going off with the first game, he'd be down like B. Like, the first game, he just kind of shows up near the end of the game. You meet him a few times, you learn barely any of the backstory, and then he kills himself, and it doesn't really have any like oomph to it until you like play the second game and you witness his descent into madness. Abigail would be an A tier. She doesn't get a whole lot either, but she is an interesting character. Yeah, you don't get a lot of development from her, I guess, but she's present throughout both games, and she's memorable. Sean. I honestly thought he was annoying, but he didn't deserve to die when he did. Is that Sean or is that Kieran? Either way, they'd both be right here. His death was pretty shocking, but I mean, at the end of the day, he just wasn't the most interesting character. Charles is an S tier. He's such a great character. He's like the best friend throughout the game. He's always someone you can go to get support from. He's always there for Arthur. Yeah, he's a really cool character. I liked him. And then, of course, Arthur Morgan. No, Arthur Morgan is easily S tier. He probably one of the best protagonists of all time. So interesting, such great development. I mean, he's just a great character. Red Dead Redemption 2 wouldn't be as good if it didn't have like such a flawed and interesting character as Arthur as the main character. There's a reason why a lot of people when they play the game, they stop after Arthur dies, just because he has that much of an impact on them and they don't want to play the game without him. And it makes sense. He's a great character. Yeah, I can't really say anything more about him, but yeah, this is my list. This video was a little bit shorter, but there wasn't as much to talk about. I can't really do a tier list of the games too because they both just be an S tier and there's only 2 of them. I haven't played the Undead Nightmare one, but it's on my bucket list. But yeah, this was my list. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you want more content, and thank you so much for watching.